Peas in a pod. It's post-lockdown pigeon prospects with Crow and his wingman.
Quick, here! Regan!
I'm in my own hideout.
Feeding time. Should just anyone be allowed to own a zoo? And when just anyone does, what happens when that zoo runs out of money? Ram-a-lam-an ammo! It's the first results of our massive lockdown field tester kit survey that you filled out for us. We count down the top of the pops products, starting this week with rifle ammunition. We have news, we have hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain.
Well, let that first one come in. He's coming in. I'll take the one behind it. It's quite nice that. I'll talk you through which one I was going to shoot. And you've got the one that's in close. Take the further one. We've got another one coming in from the left. He might come in, I'm not sure.
It's time for a catch-up with Crow. We haven't filmed Andy since first meeting his keen as mustard grandson Regan back at the end of February.
I'll tell you where it is. Do you see it?
Today, he and his cousin Gary are either end of a field protecting a crop of peas. These two are like peas in a pod. With social distancing, David won't be joining them in that pod, and Andy builds an extension on the side of the hide. Architecturally speaking, it's more like a new wing.
There you go, David. Lovely little hide. We can communicate. 2 metres between us. That's good 2 metres, more like 4.
Yeah, I think we're taking advantage of the situation here.
Well, yeah, I am a little bit. But no, it's good to get you back out again, Dave. We stayed away from each other for different reasons. Not because you don't like me, but...
We've been chatting.
Oh, Christ, we've been chatting pretty regular, but this whole Corby thing is something you've got to take serious. Yeah. We're here today. Gary's invited me down. There's a few pigeons feeding on some peas here. You've turned up about the right time. You didn't know whether he was going to be able to come, being a Wednesday, getting the show and that ready. So, no, it's good to see you. And just hopefully things will soon get back to normal and we can get back to where we were before, which would be nice. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, being an agricultural worker as you are.
No, it's just made no difference.
Has it affected you that much?
No, it hasn't. I've been one of the lucky ones, really. I haven't been stuck indoors with the missus all the time, and I think I would have. Well, yeah. So no, I'm lucky because it hasn't changed what I do. I'm still going in 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. At the moment, because it's been so hot, I've been working late spraying, and yes, I've caught up with my spraying, which is quite nice. And it ain't going to be long before we're into harvest. So it soon comes back around. I reckon another 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum, and we'll be spraying the rape off. So it'll be another two and a half weeks after that. So first week of July and back on the combine again.
Boy, how are you coping with this weather?
If you look across these peas, see how they're yellow? It's just lack of moisture. It's not getting the moisture, it's not getting away. Being on this heavy old clay, it bakes out and that's the end of it then. Here comes a couple of pigeons coming in. So I think it'd be, look at that. I think it'd be quite a good afternoon. We'll get a few shots hopefully on camera, but yeah, it does need some rain, but it don't look like as much on the horizon. That sounds like thunder over there. It is black over there and hopefully it stays there. But yeah. You're a bloody Jonah you are, David. You brought the bad weather with you. But yeah, by the way, we are still 2 metres. So.
Yeah.
But right, let's get in the hide and we can talk from the hide. We can talk from the hide then. Come on then, Regan, get in the hide. Quick, here! Regan! Regan! You want it, David? Perfect, that.
I'm not going to see a great deal of you actually at this sort of... It could be anybody. I could be filming anybody.
It's Crow. It's definitely Crow. On it?
Yep.
Crow has already had some shooting and has about 30 birds. It sounds like Gary is having more luck.
Gary's definitely in the hotter spot of the two.
He's greedy like that, isn't he?
He is greedy. Yeah, he's been watching it for the last 3 weeks.
And you're his guest? That's outrageous.
I know I'm his guest. I love you really, Gary.
That's not what he said 10 minutes ago.
No, well, it's early days yet, they will start moving. But no, I've had some quite nice ones come around. A couple of nice left and rights. I had a bit of a blip bit of a mare at the start. I didn't shoot too well for a start.
Was Regan putting pressure on you?
Whew, was he?
Has Grandad been shooting any birds today then, Regan?
Yeah.
Lots though, or are you a bit disappointed with the number he shot?
I haven't shot a lot.
Oh, shot
No.
some, mate.
Would you prefer to be with Uncle Gary?
Yeah.
He's having more shots than he, mate.
Are you decorating Rosa?
I'm trying to make one into a bird.
Yeah. Very pretty.
Oh, you bugger. Ooh.
After a clear up, Andy shows how you can tell if the pigeons have been eating peas.
So yeah, you just pointed out the colour of the beaks there.
Yeah, we
Andy.
just had a bit of a pick up and 3 birds that Regan's come back with. All 3 of them, you can see on their tops of their beak, they're green. It's just something that's in the peas. It just happens to stick to their, it's a bit sticky there. The stalks are, so it sticks to their beaks. You very rarely get it in any other crops, but you always get it with peas when they're feeding on peas. On the decoys, you want it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at what damage they've been doing to this crop, which is struggling thanks to the driest May on record.
This is a bit sparse here, where the crop needs water.
Drop it.
You can see where they've been in here, look. They've taken the flowering shoot completely off of there and here. They've taken the top shoot out that's coming. This one here, they just land on the top of it because it's such a mat. They land on it. See, they've taken the flowering head out of there. It's gone, the flowering head's there. This is one that hasn't been touched and the flowers are just coming.
So that means that particular plant is...
That particular plant won't flower now. There might be another branch come out. No, there's no more branches on that one. But once they've taken out, that's the end of that. So this one here, look, it's completely gone. See, there's no head to it at all. They've taken that. They've taken the tentacles off, everything, even there. Gary said there was like 50 here a week ago, and it's just built up every day. He's ringing me saying, God, there's more there, there's more there, there's more there. And they do, they build up really quick. They've come out of the woods now, and this is about all there is to feed on. And this and a bit of clover, and spring rape's another good one, but they're on this, and it doesn't take them long to get a crop full on it. There's enough leaf here. So.
Do you think there's been greater damage because of lockdown? Do you think there will be?
Well, there's a lot of people that haven't been out. They should have bred well early on, so I think there'll be a lot more pigeons about than what we last year. We couldn't shoot them right the way through, and then it's the same this year with the lockdown. So, but,
What'll happen next year then? I wonder. The general licence, COVID, and now we're going to
yeah,
come in
I don't know.
threes.
I don't know. They do come in threes. It all gets sorted and we'll be all right. That's the third. Yeah, 2 bad ones and a good one. But it hasn't bothered me, so I've still been shooting. So I've been having good times. So I just feel sorry for the people that they like to get out on the spring drillings and they've missed out on it all because they haven't been allowed to go out.
So there could be a lot of pigeons around this year. There are certainly a lot of corvids. Could it be the case that those who've had the chance to shoot have been focusing on woodies and not crows? Andy has put himself in a hedge line today with a stereo decoy setup, birds and whirlies either side.
When I first turned up here, the chap was spraying. He hadn't sprayed this field, but he'd sprayed that one. So what I did, I just stuck a pattern out there just to get me started, get a few in the bag. But a lot of the birds, they're coming over the far hedge. So what they're doing, they're seeing these ones the other side. It's just to really attract their attention. They're folding to come into it, and then it's pulling them back round into this side. Well, that's what's been happening. So that we had 2 come straight into the decoys there just a minute, and I just couldn't see them through the hedge.
You hadn't been spraying, you wouldn't have done it then?
I would have done, yeah, but I'd have had to pattern further down to
okay.
try and pull them through.
I don't know any other.
Before we pack up, Andy has some new kit on test. Nick Tate has built some new hide poles to his specifications. And if your hide poles are not as strong as these, you'll be needing a new product by viewer Henry Darling, Hide Spikes.
Right, I've been sent these from Henry. you put the spike in there, knock this in with a hammer, especially a year like this on hard ground, so they're going to be put through their paces over the next week or so. You put that in there, drive that into the ground, right into the ground, and then your hide pole stands into the top of it, as so. And the other thing, I've been on at Nick Tate. I said to him, is there any chance he could make me some hide poles? And he's come up with these little beauties. They've got nice long spikes. They've got a hook there to hold the net, so you can put the net on the top, pull it up, holds it tight, stop it blowing out at the bottom. Fully adjustable, just undo this here. So I'll show you the height they are. They're waist height for little people like me, mate. And they extend right up to there, above me.
It's no good for filming, is it?
It's no good for filming, but I always start high on the sides, so I have it high to come down and round, and if I've got a hide out in the field, I always have it a bit higher behind me. But yeah, he sorted these out, and they're brilliant. They really are good.
How much is he knocking those out for then?
I don't know. Christ knows. I really don't know.
And what's your cut?
I don't get a cut out of it.
What?
No, no. He gives me all the prototypes. I've got the prototype over there, and he come up with it. He rushed it out because I've been giving him stick for a long time to get me some hide poles. He brought the first one up, and there was a few problems with it. He's eyeing them out, but it's just a height. It's a size. There's a bit of weight there, but they are made well. These, I can bang these in the ground with a hammer, but normal hide poles, they're not made quite as well as these. So these would be ideal for that. I'm quite looking forward to using these, giving them a go. Happy.
It's the Andy Dandy.
Andy Dandy hide pole.
Andy Dandy hide pole.
That's it.
We'll report back with Andy's thoughts. And that's it for our afternoon on the Peas. It wasn't a big day, but it was a day. And like so many others around the country, if not the world, it's nice to get out and have a few shots. Thank you, Andy and Regan. Social distancing observed at all times. Next up, someone who thinks that social distancing is an unbreakable oath of solitude. It's David on the Fieldsports channel, News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The RSPB has made a new attack on pheasant shooting via the BBC. Speaking on BBC Radio 4's More or Less programme, RSPB Senior Policy Editor Pat Thompson complained that 47 million pheasants are released each year and only 15 million killed at shoots. Thompson also suggests the illegal killing of birds of prey is linked to pheasant shooting. GWCT chairman Jim Pace slams the charity for focusing almost entirely on the negative views of pheasant releasing. Former government minister Pace says this comes despite the bird charity explicitly stating its rigorously neutral stance on the matter. A moorland group has criticised the BBC's Springwatch for ignoring the role of grouse moor managers. The programme broadcast on the 29th of May featured a short-eared owl like this one it called Dumyat, which was tagged in Scotland and flew around Europe. The Tayside and Central Scotland Moor Group says the BBC's report missed a few important facts and told the true story about the owl in its Facebook post, including how the owl survived thanks to the work of upland gamekeepers. The TCSMG wrote that it was ashamed sporting estates were not given the recognition for the successful breeding of the amber-listed bird. An animal rights group has started posting online just 3 weeks after the police shut their website down. Unoffensive Animal, which uses this picture on its website, was forced to move its server overseas after a post about a vandalised butcher's shop in Nottingham. Its first posts on its new website include new reports about a butcher's shop being attacked in the Brighton area. It claims it's a media platform, so cannot be blamed for the attacks. It issues a threat to police with the code "One Cop, One Bullet." It ends its post by asking followers for money. The lovely weather during lockdown has had an unpleasant side effect. Rats have been able to survive the end of winter and early spring, and numbers are booming. With restaurants and pubs closed, the rodents have been roaming into suburbs looking for food and even invading homes, according to The Sun. The paper says they include giant 18-inch rats, and there are so many, colonies are engaged in turf wars. The report claims some of the animals are even eating each other. While it may be bad news for people pestered by them, it could be good news for the Kent and Sussex ratters, who we highlighted in this action-packed story earlier this year. Draconian lockdown measures could cost Scottish stalkers £9 million this year. A survey of 103 businesses covering about 2 million acres of land found the loss of let stalking for stags, hinds, roebucks and roe does will mean £2.5 million goes up in smoke. The Association of Deer Management Groups said the survey represents about a third of the let stalking sector. ADMG chairman Richard Cook says there will be job losses, adding that venison dealers and processors had lost all their restaurant, food service and catering customers during the lockdown.
The industry, which is quite a small industry, although important because it happens in parts of rural Scotland where there's not much else going on economically, say it's even half of that, that will probably mean some job losses, unfortunately. And then the question is the capacity to carry out a proper deer cull next season as well as beyond this season.
People escaping coronavirus lockdown in towns are damaging rural beauty spots. Rangers at Havana Nature Reserve outside Newcastle upon Tyne, home to rare red squirrels, are clearing up beer bottles, crisp packets, condoms and even faeces, while firefighters have tackled several blazes. Visitors cut down trees to start fires. Nature Reserve volunteers complain that the wildlife haven has been overused and abused during the lockdown. While dozens of regular hounds and puppy shows across the world have been cancelled because of coronavirus, this one is just starting up. Get ready for the first international virtual hound show, which has welcomed entries from the UK, Ireland, France, US, Canada, New Zealand and Australia. Held between the 17th of July and the 14th of August, there will be specific classes for different types of hound, and there will be 30 virtual rings. A panel of 3 experienced international hound judges for each class will make their decision based on 4 photographs and a video. There will be a public vote for each of the classes. The deadline for entries is the 30th of June. German gunmaker Sig Sauer is shutting up shop in its own country. The Eckernförde plant produces and markets the company's range of handguns and long guns. It supplies both the civilian market, which includes target shooters, collectors and hunters, and law enforcement and military. Managing Director Tim Castagna told employees at the plant that economic problems are forcing it to close. Around 130 employees will be affected by the closure. A company statement cites locational disadvantages and laws increasingly restricting the use of sports firearms. In 2017, Sig Sauer won the lucrative US military pistols contract, which its American arm will continue to supply. The US government is planning to make it easier for industry to kill birds. Accidental bird death caused by industry are currently investigated as crimes under the 100-year-old Migratory Bird Treaty Act. The US Fish and Wildlife Service says that US industry kills between 450 million to 1.1 billion birds a year, which land in oil pits or collide with power lines or other structures. More than 1,000 species are covered under the law. In a new video on Facebook, gamekeepers release a roe kid stuck in a wire. The 2 moorland keepers from Nidderdale heard a cry from a woodland plantation and went to investigate. A roe kid was stuck in a fence. They unwound the wire from the kid and it ran off into the woods. Then they pulled up the section of the old fence and removed it. The Nidderdale Moorland group, which posted the video, added a plea not to disturb or pick up kids and fawns, as their mothers are seldom far away. Police are investigating after a Swedish hunting lodge was burnt to the ground. The fire destroyed the house, which is used by hunters. Police believe it could be arson. Swedish antis have become more militant in recent months, destroying high seats all over the country. Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. And finally, the anti-guns lobby's influence has spread into the world of cartoons. US network HBO took away Elmer Fudd's gun in a reboot of the classic Looney Tunes cartoon. Executive producer Peter Braungart told the New York Times, "We're not doing guns. Instead, Bugs Bunny's nemesis will be chasing him around with a scythe." Commentators suggest the makers might think beheading animals is more humane than shooting them. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. And there's more news on our website. If you go to the description below, you'll find a link to that. And thanks also to the Fieldsports Nation, the happy band of 500 or so of you who not only get my vlog every Tuesday and got a free goodie box when they signed up, but also fund the Fieldsports news items we make. Some of which, like a hen harrier item we've been working on this week, I think really will change some minds about grouse shooting in coming weeks. Most of the films we make are paid for by advertisers. Fieldsports News is not, and so we really rely on you, the viewers. And if you'd like to join that gang, well, you'll also find details of how to do that on our website. Next up, a day at the zoo. We hunters know how hard wildlife management is and that it comes with tough decisions. So what happens when so-called animal lovers get to take charge of animals?
Borth in West Wales. Looks lovely, but it could be about to become the site of the biggest exotic animal slaughter the UK has ever seen.
We've got a few more weeks worth of money thanks to donations, and hopefully that'll see us out of lockdown. But if it didn't and we had to close, then obviously the first thing we'd do would be to look at trying to rehome as many as we could. Well, we don't want to rehome them, we don't want to lose them at all, but you know, if need be, that's what we would have to do. And obviously the ones that we couldn't rehome, we would have to euthanise, and that's not something we'd take lightly. I'd rather starve than watch these die, you know.
How would you go about doing that? I mean, I know it's an uncomfortable question, but...
Well, it'd be a case of bringing the vet in, you know, but obviously we'd try and find homes first.
Tracy is an animal lover who bought Borth Wild Animal Kingdom a few years ago. Since then, animals have escaped and been killed by accident, and the zoo has faced a council shutdown, a coronavirus lockdown, and now cash problems that could close it for good. When it comes to looking after animals, it seems being an animal lover is not enough. The controversy began when a lynx escaped in 2017.
We'd only been here 5 months, and this enclosure was really, really overgrown. And although we'd cut it back, clearly not enough, because one of them got out. Which was horrific, to be honest, and it started a whole heap of trouble for us.
Really?
Yeah, because the thing is, from day one the council wanted to have the cat shot and we didn't agree, and so they gave us 10 days to try and find it and to capture it, but we couldn't do it in that time, and then so they got a marksman to shoot it.
The council denies wanting to kill the lynx and said it lent the zoo equipment to help them catch it. It also denies giving Tracy a 10-day deadline. It says it only stepped in and shot the lynx after the zoo failed to catch it and the animal posed a threat to the public. The lynx escape provoked a petition online to shut down the zoo, which has hundreds of animals, including meerkats.
I mean, I always thought they were really cute until I saw them eat a dead chick. Because obviously they have chicks for protein, and yeah, they're vicious.
So they've been lied to then.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Everybody thinks they're cute and cuddly. The amount of people that think they can just lean over and pick them up. I was like, please don't. We've got Denzel. He's a very popular one. He comes out. He's a greeny one, and comes out for shows. He's actually very friendly.
The next controversy to hit the zoo will be the court case over unpaid tax. Then there's the cost of keeping the animals alive.
Be quite a bill each month that you've got.
Yeah, I mean, it costs around £15,000 a month to feed and care for them all. So yeah, it's a hell of a lot of money. You know, we rely completely on ticket sales, so at times like this, you know, there just isn't any money coming in. And I think being the time of year it was where we'd come out of winter, obviously the money from the summer before carries us through winter. You kind of expect the Easter money to come in to kind of top you back up, and obviously that hasn't happened, and that's kind of where we've got to the situation we're in.
Zoos in England are sharing a £14 million lockdown lifeline from the government, but there's no equivalent in Wales. The predicament provokes questions about what qualifications and finances people need to prove they can run a zoo. DEFRA says no particular qualifications are needed, besides being able to hire competent staff who are given formal training. It's up to local authorities to decide what evidence of finances is needed. The zoo has seen a surge in donations, extending its lifeline. But the harsh reality is it may need to kill the animals.
If we could move the lions back to Africa, then I would. But then, knowing about them now, knowing what I know now, I know they wouldn't survive it in the wild at all. So what do? Do you just euthanize them all and shut the zoo? No. You look after them as best you can, and you give them as much space as you can. I mean, one of the things we've wanted to do with all of the animals is give them bigger enclosures. So we're slowly trying to move them up on the hill because we've got a big chunk of space that's not being used. You know, and that's why we see ourselves more as a sanctuary, purely because animals come here for the rest of their days. They don't come here just for the public's entertainment. I don't pick an animal because I think, oh, the public will love that. You know, if an animal needs a home, it's like, you know, we've got 3 groups of marmosets. Bit unnecessary. A lot of people are like, oh, marmosets. It's like, well, they've got a right to live, you know, and this is their home. Why should they be moved anywhere else, you know?
Thank you, Ben. Next up, it's our Field Tester survey. We put out a survey to you in March 2020 when everybody was twiddling their thumbs under coronavirus lockdown, and we got rather more responses than we expected. 3,500, which is why it's taken until now to come back to you with the first of the results, and here is that first of the results. It's rifle ammunition. What do Fieldsports Channel viewers shoot? Well, pop pickers, here's what you told us. We asked you to give us rankings out of 5 for killability, accuracy and value for money. The top cartridge for killability? The Winchester Varmint X. Top bullets for killability? Joint winners the Hornady ELDX and RWS DK. Top cartridges for accuracy are joint winners Federal Premium and Sacco Hammerhead. Top bullet for accuracy is the Hornady GMX. Top cartridge for value for money, it's the Federal PowerShock. Top bullet for value for money, again it's the Hornady GMX. That's just the curtain raiser. Hang in there. At the end of this item I will reveal to you the big one. What are your favourite rounds? So what did the survey tell us? Well, Fieldsports Channel viewers are loyal to their ammunition brands, and we have the proof. Once you find a rifle cartridge you like, you stick to it. Only 3% of you say you don't care what ammo you use. Which manufacturers have the biggest market share? Here's a groovy graphic. What do Fieldsports Channel viewers shoot with their centerfire rifles? We had nearly 700 responses to that question. It is mainly deer. And now the big ones, as voted by Fieldsports Channel viewers. Your favourite wild boar round. It's from Germany and it's the RWS Hit. Your favourite lead-free bullets. They are the RWS Hit again, Hornady GMX and Barnes Tipped TSX or TTSX. Your favourite fox bullet is the Hornady VMAX, whether it comes in a Hornady cartridge or one made by Norma, Fiocchi or even Uncle Tom Cobley. And the winner of the big one, your favourite deer rounds, are joint honours to the Sacco, Gamehead and Federal PowerShock. Soft points remain the favourite for deer, with plastic tips the big one for foxes. Thanks to everyone who took part in that survey, and there is a prize draw attached to the survey which will announce some winners in the next few weeks. And we'll also be putting out more of the results, from shotguns to airgun pellets to wellies, so keep an eye out for those. Now to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Thanks to Murray Honeyman for this suggestion. It's the 45-minute version of a long documentary on Vimeo, and one we have highlighted before. The subject, Guy Wallace, used to work for me when I was at Shooting Times back in the early 12th century, so it's good to see him unchanged. Top Shot George Digweed has launched a YouTube channel, and about time too. In this film, he is interviewing other well-known shooters. Fieldsports Magazine, which, just to be clear, has nothing to do with us, has also started a YouTube channel. This this film is a profile of a gun dog trainer. Pedro de Ampuero is bow hunting ibex in the Altai Mountains of Mongolia. Beautifully filmed, it is, as he says, a story of unrelenting persistence. Michael Sommer has put up Wald and Wild TV episode 14 and sends it to me. It's in German with English subtitles and tells how Michael goes out for his first roebuck of 2020. Here is a pretty 10-minute film called Roebuck of a Lifetime. It's on the Nordic Hunting Channel in Finland and comes with English subtitles. Simon 6 PPC is ratting up close and personal in this film. He is in an old stable where the rats are so close to his shooting position he has to re-zero. And finally, a shout out to my friend Clayton Fletcher, who made this film to promote his hunting business Tinashe and helped us out with a story this week. South African hunters are having a hard time this year, so if anyone has been putting off their plains game hunt, even their Big Five, now is the time to book it, or we risk losing most of what keeps African wildlife alive. That's it for this week. I've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that's it for this week. If you haven't done so, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click to like us there on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and pop your email address into our register page. And we will tell you about this show every week. It's called Fieldsports Britain. This show, it's at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday, and you'll get an email about that. I will see you next week. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.